I found a way to cheat real estate investing. While other investors are stressing about market timing, property flips, and tenant problems, I collect $200,000 every single month from my 153 Section 8 rentals at just 23 years old. And I've never had to worry about tenants not paying rent. And today, I'm gonna show you the real estate cheat code that investors do not even know exists. This isn't about having tons of money, perfect credit, or being a construction expert. This is about utilizing a government program that's been around for 80 plus years to build serious wealth with minimal risk. If you've been intimidated by real estate investing or think you need to be rich to get started, this video is going to change everything for you. Most people think real estate investing is complicated and risky. Myth number one, you need tons of money to get started with real estate. People think you need over $100,000 just to buy your first deal, but the reality is I bought my first deal with $5,000 down. Many deals can be done with 5, 10, 15, or even 20% down, and some can even be done with $0 down just via seller financing. Myth number two, you have to time the market perfectly. And people ultimately keep waiting and waiting for the perfect time to buy, but the reality is good deals exist in every single market, and I've been buying consistently for the past 6 years. And government-backed rent doesn't depend on market cycles, which has allowed me to buy consistently regardless of market conditions. Myth number three, you need to be a construction expert. People think they need to flip houses like on HGTV. The reality is I buy turnkey properties that are completely ready to go, completely out of state. No hammers, no contractors, no renovation headaches. I focus on cash flow deals rather than construction projects. Myth number four, tenants are a nightmare. People end up fearing non-payment and tenant damage, but the reality is the right tenants actually protect your investment. Government-backed tenants actually maintain their property because they're incentivized to, otherwise they get kicked off the program. So me personally, I rarely deal with tenant problems. Myth number five, real estate is too risky. People end up worrying about losing money, but the reality is government-backed rent is guaranteed every single month. It's a recession-proof income stream that's more stable than stocks or business income. And these myths keep most people on the sideline while investors are building passive income every single month and creating wealth. And here's the real estate cheat code. You ready? It's called Section 8 housing. Now you're probably asking, what makes this a cheat code? Well, the government guarantees your rent payment. The payments arrive on the first every single month like clockwork. It's recession-proof income. So if you think about what happened during COVID, well, I kept getting paid. It is higher than market rent in most areas, and they are long-term tenants. Your average Section 8 tenant stays in a house for 7.5 years. Now let's talk about how the program works. The government helps low-income families afford housing. So they pay 70 to 100% of the rent every single month guaranteed to your bank account. And the tenants only have a small portion to cover, usually anywhere from $0 to $300 a month. And your responsibility as a landlord, well, you provide safe housing that passes the Section 8 inspection. So everyone ends up winning. Now let's talk about why this is cheating. Well, you get all the benefits of real estate ownership, and the government ends up eliminating the biggest risk for you, which is non-payment. There's built-in tenant demand. There's actually 10 to 15 years of waiting list for Section 8 tenants. And the program has existed since 1937 and is not going anywhere. Now let's compare this to other real estate investment strategies. Let's talk about fix and flips. They're high risk, require expertise, and they're highly market dependent. Let's talk about luxury rentals. They're market dependent and they have high vacancy risk. Let's talk about commercial real estate. They require a ton of capital and they're very complex. And finally, Section 8. Well, they're super low risk, they're government backed, and it's extremely simple process. And that's why I call it cheating, because you get real estate upside without taking the real estate risks. My journey personally started when I was 17 years old. I worked 6 months at my local Section 8 housing authority as an intern. That's where I learned the entire system from the inside out. And I saw landlords collecting guaranteed checks every single month. And that's when I realized that was my path to success. The first property that I closed on was $50,000. I only had to put $5,000 down out of my pocket. It was seller financing, which meant there was no bank required in the transaction. And it rented for close to $1,400 every single month to a Section 8 tenant. So it cash flowed me close to $600 every single month immediately. And the way that I scaled was ultimately a couple different things. I used the cash flow that I saved for the next property. I reinvested my profits instead of spending them on dumb stuff. I found investors to help me raise capital for my other down payments, and I focused on investing in sub $100,000 properties in landlord-friendly states. Now, my key numbers today, well, I own 153 Section 8 rentals, generating over $200,000 every single month in guaranteed rent. After all of my expenses, there are close to $80,000 a month in cash flow, and the portfolio is now worth close to $14 million. Now, in terms of my timeline, at 17 years old, I had my first property. At 19 years old, I had close to 10 properties under my belt. By 21, I had close to 80 properties. And now at 23 years old, I own over 153 Section 8 rentals. And the only reason this growth was possible was because the government guaranteed this income. Low risk meant I could scale aggressively. There was consistent cash flow funded by rapid expansion, and there was zero market timing required. The biggest advantage to Section 8 investing is economic stability. So if you think about what happened during COVID-19, millions of landlords were not collecting rent every single month. The eviction moratorium lasted months and months. Many real estate investors actually went broke or were forced to foreclose. Meanwhile, me, I collected payments every single month on time without missing a penny. Now, why is Section 8 recession proof? Well, the government backing does not disappear during recessions. And the reality is more people qualify for housing during hard times. The program funding is prioritized in government budgets, and it's an essential service that cannot be eliminated. Now, in terms of the historical perspective, well, it survived the 2008 crisis. It continued through multiple recessions since 1937. It's operated through wars, pandemics, and political changes, and it has an 80+ year track record of reliability. Now, if you compare that to other investments, well, stocks could lose up to 50% of their value during recessions. Business income ends up dropping off a cliff during economic instability. Luxury rentals, well, that's pretty much the first thing people cut during hard times. And for Section 8, well, the government doesn't miss any payments. This stability allows for predictable cash flow planning, aggressive scaling without worrying about the market, long-term wealth building as you accumulate assets, and peace of mind during market volatility. It's like having a government job, but as a real estate investor. Now, let me break down the actual numbers on a typical deal that I close on. Let's talk about an example property in Ohio. The purchase price, $75,000. The down payment, $11,250, which is 15% down. Your monthly rent from Section 8, $1,350. Your monthly expenses, $827, including insurance, taxes, management, maintenance, and all of your mortgage expenses. And your monthly cash flow, $523, which leaves you an annual return of over 40%. Now, let's compare this to other investment strategies. Stock market averages right around 7 to 10% annually. A savings account is only 1 to 2% annually. Corporate bonds, anywhere from 4 to 5% annually. And a Section 8 property, well, could be over 30% year over year. And that's the magic of leverage. You control a $75,000 asset with an $11,250 investment. The government guarantees the income, the properties appreciate over time, and the tax benefits reduce your tax burden. Now, if you scale this same concept over multiple different properties, well, if we use the same numbers, 10 properties equals $5,230 in monthly cash flow. 25 properties equals $13,075 in monthly cash flow. 50 properties equals $26,150 in monthly cash flow. And 100 properties is $52,300 in monthly cash flow. My actual results, I'm at 153 Section 8 rentals, generating over $200,000 a month in monthly revenue. I started with $5,000 just 6 years ago. I've built close to a $15 million portfolio at just 23 years old, and these numbers were all possible because the government removes the risk. So the reality is you only have two options. Option one, you keep doing what everyone else is doing. You wait for the perfect time to invest, you try to time the market, you try to compete with everyone else on the same exact deals, and you accept average returns with high risk. Option two, you use the government-backed cheat code. You start building wealth with government-backed income every single month. You focus on cash flow properties over speculation. You build a recession-proof portfolio, and you achieve financial freedom much faster. And what's holding most people back is really just fear of the unknown, perfectionism, and analysis paralysis, listening to people and realtors who have never done it before, and waiting for perfect conditions that will never come. The reality, every month you wait, the more money you miss. Property prices are generally trending upwards month over month. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start is right now. And my challenge to you is stop making excuses, start taking action, focus on progress, not perfection, and use the government backing to your advantage. Just remember this, I started at 17 years old with $5,000. No special advantages, no rich family, no real estate background, just the willingness to take action. If I could scale to 153 Section 8 rentals by 23 years old, why can't you? The question isn't whether or not it works, because I've proven that it does. The question is whether or not you're gonna stop making excuses and start building wealth. If you wanna learn exactly how to utilize the government-backed cheat code to build your own portfolio of cash flowing properties, check out the link down below in my description, and I'll personally show you how to get started, even if you think you don't have enough money or experience.